My name is Megan Hansen, Instructional Design and Technology student at the American College of Education. Today we'll be discussing a hypothetical scenario for two students using a learning module in a high school level sewing and fashion course. The presentation will outline in-course corrections that will be made to the activities, assessments, and learner engagement for the two specific students for improved effectiveness. Let's first start out this presentation with a little background on the sewing and fashion course before we begin with student introductions. The sewing and fashion course is designed to provide an opportunity for students to explore the roles of clothing and fashion in their daily lives through a combination of theory and practical experience. The course provides opportunities for students to apply and synthesize knowledge from many different content areas and their relation to the fashion industry. Now let's take a look at the course audience. The Sewing and Fashion course is an elective course offered to high school students in grades 9 through 12 whose age ranges from 14 to 18 years old. As you can see, this wide range of learners presents diversity in the areas of learning styles, interests, and motivation within the classroom. As the instructional designer, it is imperative to evaluate each of these areas for the students in a pre-course, in-course, and post-course timeframe to maintain effectiveness between the learning objectives presented and the student population. Now that we have an understanding of the course itself and the overall student population, let's take a closer look at the module that we'll be working on in this unit. The module objective is for students to be able to examine the ways in which clothing fulfills artistic, cultural, and physical needs in today's world. Within this module, students will complete the following tasks. Students will be able to analyze and illustrate concepts related to fashion merchandising by creating a sketch of a visual merchandising display that will feature the rebirth of the garment or style assigned from conception to the fall 2019 trend time. Students will assess the ways in which personal and cultural values affect clothing selection by comparing and contrasting a representative garment that has experienced a revival by explaining whether the item is considered to be a fashion or fad using the fashion cycle chart. Students will also be able to create, design, and present a display showcasing the rebirth of a fashion style from the past to the fall 2019 season by creating a visual display and presentation showcasing their research on their original garment selected. Students shall be able to assess the rebirth of a fashion style from conception to the fall 2019 trends, illustrate and describe the fashion cycle for a specific garment or style from conception to President's Day, identify prevalent fashion designers or brands that produce the garment, design a fashion merchandising display showcasing the fashion item for a fall 2019 window display. Student assessments for this model will be both formative and summative. The summative assessment will be an overall assessment analysis reflective of the project itself from the research to the presentation, demonstrating the student's knowledge and comprehension of the fashion cycle. Formative assessments will take place in course, and student assessments will be a process analysis assessment conducted using the Chickering and Gamble 7 principles theory. These process analysis assessments work on evaluation of student work, communication between the student and the teacher, observation of collaboration within the classroom, and providing student feedback. At this point in our hypothetical student scenario for this module, the overall student progress can be observed as the following for the majority of the class. Students have completed research. Feedback on research has been provided by the instructor via Google Docs, both during the class period and at the conclusion, and face-to-face feedback has been provided as necessary to those students that may need a push in the right direction. Students have completed necessary adjustments to the research based on instructor feedback. Students have marked comments as resolved on Google Docs documenting that step being complete. Students have also started to create their visual displays using a research completed in the first phase of their assignment. Students have also created an outline for their visual merchandising sketches showcasing the knowledge and comprehension of research conducted. Now, although the majority of the class has been working at the same pace as illustrated on the previous slide, two students have fallen behind in their work. Student number 1, Amanda, has incomplete research, the student's visual display has not been started, and the student has no visual merchandising sketch outline created. Amanda has been provided both virtual and face-to-face feedback by the instructor at this point. We will discuss all of the necessary adjustments that will be made to further assist Amanda in catching up with the remainder of the class on the next few slides. Now, although the majority of the class has been working at the same pace as illustrated on the previous slides, Student 2 has fallen behind in their work as well. Student number 2, Brittany, has about half of the required research complete, and she has made resolutions to the feedback provided by the instructor on the research submitted. Brittany has not completed the missing elements of the research at this time. Brittany's visual display has been started using research performed, but is missing several elements due to incomplete research. She has started to outline a visual merchandising sketch, however, is lacking information due to incomplete research. Much like Amanda, Brittany has been provided both virtual and face-to-face feedback by the instructor at this point. We will discuss the necessary adjustments that will be made to assist Brittany in catching up with the remainder of the class in the next few slides. Since we will be following a process analysis assessment for a form of in-course correction, we will be following the Chickering and Gamble 7 principles theory. I'm now going to walk through the 7 steps of the theory and see how it is vital to address student issues in a timely fashion and any issue arriving to be dealt with for these 2 specific students before they become larger problems. The first step was for both students who have fallen behind was to encourage communication between the teacher and student. Let's first take a look at student number 1, Amanda. While students were independently working on the research component of the project, it was observed that Amanda was not being productive in her work. After the instructor has checked on her Google Docs for the assignment, the instructor has observed that little to no research was conducted. At this point, the instructor has virtually provided feedback on the student's work through Google Docs and has offered assistance to the student by suggesting research engines to be used for finding the information on the student's trends. After a period of time, the instructor checked into the student's Google Docs to note the progress that has been made since the virtual feedback was offered to the student. At this point, the instructor has decided to conduct a face-to-face meeting with the student to discuss any challenges the student has been facing. During this meeting, Amanda noted that she is completely uninterested in her assigned trend, causing the lack of participation. The teacher worked with Amanda to reassign her trend to better suit her personality, an area of interest to promote engagement within the assignment. For student number 2, Brittany, an observation was made that half of her research was completed while students were independently working. The teacher has virtually provided feedback assistance to the student, suggesting areas for improvement within her research. Although the student went in and marked her comments as resolved with this teacher, those expectations have not yet been made. The teacher has also noticed that the student has begun working on several other elements of the project prior to finishing the last step of the research. At that time, the teacher conducted a face-to-face meeting with the student to discuss the incomplete research and their ability to move on with the remainder of the project. Feedback was provided to the student, and the student seemed to have been working at a better pace after this time. The second and third steps in Chickering and Gamble's theory notes collaboration among the students and encouraging active learning in the classroom. A recommendation that could be made to the student activities for this module is incorporating a peer review element after the research portion of the project has been completed. It will provide students with the opportunity to work with a fellow student and share, develop, and inspire and encourage active learning in the classroom before the display portion of the project begins. This may help to inspire students like Amanda and Brittany to take a closer look at their work and encourage them to further develop their research for specific trends. This instant feedback from peers, in addition to the teacher feedback afterwards, awards students with meaningful detail and provided in a timely fashion. The fourth step in the theory notes the instructor's ability to provide prompt feedback to the learner. As noted on the previous slide, this has already taken place. Adding a peer review element to the assignment will provide the student with feedback from both the instructor and their peers and can act on that feedback accordingly. The last 3 steps of Chickering and Gamble's theory work together in a final recommendation for student activities in the module that we will discuss. In order to emphasize time on task, it is important to remember that all students learn and process information differently. In an elective course such as sewing and fashion, this holds true. Breaking down the tasks for students into smaller parts will allow for the student to check understanding as well as the instructor to document progress at all stages of the assignment. As the students work and the instructor provides virtual feedback, they are provided with an opportunity to challenge those students who are demonstrating mastery and assist those that need an extra push in the right direction. In doing so, the instructor is able to maintain high expectations for the students to achieve, all while respecting the diverse group of learners in the room.